Hey guys, it's Apoch from Apoch's Metal Review. Not using the webcam anymore, obviously. Been having some problems with it. Apparently, after only 2 videos, the microphone decided it didn't want to work right anymore. A lot of popping, a lot of clicking, so I apologize about that. But now I'm using the camcorder that I've used for various interviews. Just hoping it'll work out. But the next video I wanted to do is going to be on Omnium Gatherum's Beyond. The new album that's coming out through Lifeforce Records. For those who don't know them, they've been on various record labels throughout the years. They've been on Nuclear Blast, Candlelight Records. Their very first was on Rage of Achilles. I believe that was back in 1996. They released an EP and then put out their debut full-length album. They haven't really been that well received, a melodic death metal band. Earlier stuff, a lot of websites barely broke a 5, 6, like 50-60% around there. But they have been maturing, they have been doing very well. They've issued 5 full-lengths so far outside of this one, Beyond. So they've gotten a good amount of experience in. They've changed around a lot. They're from Karhula, Finland. Not sure if I'm saying it right. Formed back in 1996. You might know some of the names in the band. Not sure if I'm saying these right. Marukas Vanhala. He's the guitarist, and he's from Insomnium, one of the very major player, I guess you would say, in the melodic death metal band. One of my favorites. Really like the music. I haven't really heard the new album yet. I'm dying to hear that. Jarmo Pika, drummer of Total Devastation, and Erke Sylvanoinen. Again, not sure if I'm saying these right. He's the bassist formerly of Amoral. So these guys, they do have a good amount of talent. I've heard some of their stuff before. Definitely check out those bands if you haven't had the chance yet. This album right now is at 57 minutes and 9 seconds. I don't know if there's going to be a special edition or anything like that, but I do know they have a single coming out in 2 days from today. That'd be February 8th, and it's going to be The Unknowing. And that's definitely a good song off the album. Definitely suggest you check it out when it comes out. First, I haven't really been doing this lately in the videos, obviously. The cinematography in the one video. I haven't talked about the production in the Soilwork video. But this album actually has a pretty good modern digital quality to it. The guitars are pretty heavy. They're very loud, as is the bass. It's not that deep, but you know, it's really obvious, and it really helps to keep the rhythm of the song alive, making it that much more vital to bang your head along to. It's almost impossible to not at least bob your head along to many of these songs. The cymbals are crisp. There's a nice snap, nice tight snap to the snares. Both have a decent amount of an echo to them. The cymbals more than the snare. Not the bass kick, though. The bass kick has a nice click that really comes through well, and that's just more of a straightforward kind of thing going on. The vocals have a rough, dirty guttural to them, and the keyboards, they're pretty loud too, and they really feed into the atmosphere of the album. Really important for this release, and they have more of a progressive touch to them, sometimes feeding into a science fiction-like vibe, and that's something that really carries throughout most of the album, is a science fiction sense. But the bass really plays a major role throughout the entire release, and that's honestly one of the most important elements of the recording. First of all, I want to talk about the new dynamic. It's a pretty emotional song due to the lead guitars. Plenty of clean singing. It's very uplifting. As I'm listening to it, honestly, some of the song was just really catchy. It had a very upbeat, uplifting vibe. And then the chorus, I just want to raise my hands and sway back and forth like I'm a Christian rock concert or whatnot. And it was like a very spiritual experience without being a Christian spiritual song, which I love. I hate Christian-related music. I despise it with a passion. So having that kind of sensation without the Christian theme made me very, very happy and not want to immediately break the disc. So that was good. Formidable, it's kind of upbeat. It's very heavy. Very infectious as well, just not as uplifting. It's got a great deal of enthusiasm. The energy behind it really kept me going. I was headbanging a lot to that song. Really sticks out. There's plenty of hooks that keep the flow going. like even in the lightest of areas, and there's a good progressive atmosphere that the keyboards really bring into it, especially with the solo and the clean riffs that appear here and there. Definitely one of the major standout tracks to the album, and one that I really would just love to throw on a compilation. A CDR compilation for my car or something. So, and The Unknowing, I'm actually surprised that's going to be the single compared to Formidable. But who knows, they may very well do a video or another single. Living in Me has plenty of energy. Another highly infectious song, also more upbeat. There's a few slower patches that actually work very well. Never holds anything up. The guitar solo in it is actually very emotional. I really don't know what more to say about it. It's a good song. I really think it's one of the better ones off of it. Has a good deal going for it, and I really do suggest you check that one out if you're just going to sample the CD before you buy it. But the one song that really stuck out the most was Nightwalkers. Nightwalkers, it's a very creepy and dark song, really bass heavy. The best way to explain it is like an extraterrestrial atmosphere to it. Keyboards really feed into it, especially in the chorus. The song lasts about 8 minutes. Definitely, you will not lose interest in the song. The heaviness, the sci-fi vibe, the creepier undertones is just an excellent song that is well worth checking out. It's never dull. I never got bored of it once. Matter of fact, I actually went back and listened to it again as soon as it was done. It's that good a song. Finally, yeah, last one I'll talk about. White Palace. It's a 10-minute and 41 song in length. Very laid back. Had plenty of extended passages and music, especially towards the end. The end leads into a guitar solo that's very well done. It's nothing too spectacular, but it does remain extended for quite a while, and it does bleed into a keyboard solo. It gives it a beautiful atmosphere, but it's nothing too emotionally moving. The song has a bit of a slower pace to it. Just the entire 10 minutes and 41 seconds, it doesn't feel like it takes forever to reach the end. It does feel like you're actually going through that 10 minutes, 41 seconds. It doesn't feel like it's passing by too much, but you'll enjoy the entire experience. You're not going to sit there watching the timer go or wishing that it would end quicker. It's a good song. It's one that really does speak out for the entire album. It wraps everything up nicely. I don't think the album actually has a concept. I didn't pick up on one, but if it is a conceptual album, even if you can look at it that way, it does kind of end like a good wrap-up to a conceptual video. Conceptual album, excuse me. So, yeah, you'll want to go back and listen to everything again after that one. I really liked it, and I think you will too. One thing that I noticed, however, there were many times where I really wished that they would have some clean singing thrown in. I mean, there's some really catchy, melodic, hook-driven tracks. Just passages, whatever you want to say. I was actually greatly let down that there wasn't a lot more clean singing. There was some on the New Dynamic. It was just very, very brief. It was actually clean singing. There wasn't any distortion or anything to it. Unfortunately, there were some echo effects on Who Could Say. That song was actually like a slower ballad track. I guess it was like a melodic death ballad, if you want. During the main verses, there was the clean singing. The chorus, it was a much richer chorus, a little heavier, and they used gutturals for that. But the clean singing, it just sounded horrible in this song. They added echo effects, and they layered it, and it just sounded tinny. Horribly, horribly tinny. I sat here just cringing from how bad it was. It wasn't even off-key or anything like that. It just sounded like too much studio interference. I can't even begin to... If you know how much auto-tuning songs aggravate you, If that kind of thing aggravates you, this is going to irritate the living hell out of you. It is not auto-tuned in any way, but it has that like metallic tinge to it. And it just sucks. I don't know why they went through with that. It's a glaring issue through the entire song. And the song is good. It's just, that is so bad. But aside that, man, there's very little about this I didn't like. I thought it was a very atmosphere-rich album. Some areas were emotional, but never too... like, it never really played on my emotions. It never made me feel sad, depressed, happy, burdened, anything like that. There were a few songs, like I mentioned before, that were upbeat, enthusiastic, energetic, that really did actually kind of get me a little pumped. So that was another good thing. That's one thing that I really liked about this, was some of the songs actually managed to do that, but not all. I mean, this album has so much potential, and the main issue is that some of the enthusiasm just feels like it's being restrained for the sake of the atmosphere. And that's one of the things, you can tell that this is like a very Insomnium-inspired album. And it just kind of holds it back. If you could actually get to sit down and listen to the faster tracks, the more energetic ones, without all the atmosphere present, it just sounds a lot better. Mostly because they're not restraining anything for the sake of atmosphere. So, with that being said, it's a good album. If you're a melodic death metal fan, you will enjoy it, especially if you like Insomnium. But it's not as good as it could be. So much potential wrapped up in this album, so many great songs. It's one that's going to be stuck in my car stereo for weeks on end. Because I'm really going to plow through this. I'm going to listen to it again and again. It kills me. I want to give it a 9, but I can't. 8.5 out of 10 for this one. It's definitely a good album. It's one that's going to stand out this year. Not going to be an Album of the Year contender, but it's definitely one you're going to want to check out. So when you get a chance, Omnium Gatherum, be sure you get that single when it comes out. Pick up Beyond, or at least give it a spin before you go out and buy it. So, check it out. I'll catch you guys next time.